Hello, it's Diane, and I'm excited to share with you the journals that I just completed. If you saw the video of the paper doll journal that I made for the swap on Junk Journal Junkies, I said that I was going to make a couple for my shop, and that's what these two are. One of them is already spoken for. I'm not sure which one. I think I will list this one, which is called Gentle, because that's what it says on her panel. This one will be for the one who claimed it, my customer who already asked for one, and then this one will be listed in the shop. So let's go through Gentle first of all. Again, it's decorated with a fabric panel by the artist Corey Dantini. I will link the website where I purchased this fabric, but if you do a web search for Corey Dantini fabrics, you will get different websites that you can check out. They may have different panels available. The panels that I used for these books is actually called Girl Power, and this girl is called Gentle. I covered up part of her name. And this one on the back is Curious. There's fabric or trim along the edge, and then a satin ribbon at the top, and then this rosette kind of trim on the side or on the spine. And it's got 3 signatures, and there's an eyelet in the cover through which I threaded some pink seam binding. On the inside cover, I wrapped this panel. Let's see, here's what the panel looks like. It has the image and then this piece, decorated piece underneath it. So I just wrapped this piece around. On the one that I did for the swap, I think I sewed some lace or something to the top of it. But the pocket was a little shorter than I wanted it to be, especially once I put a tall paper doll in it. So on these, I stitched a piece of, I think it's vintage blanket binding, a yellow satin blanket binding. So it's doubled. I just kind of, wrapped it around it like you're supposed to on the edge, but I left it up. You know what I'm trying to say. So this is fabric here, and this is blanket binding, and then here's This Book Belongs to tag. And in the pocket is a reproduction paper doll of an antique paper doll. She has 2 outfits, and I am sending a bag that contains all of the rest of her outfits in this bag. That will go with the book. And then the books are set up the same. You will see the same elements in both journals, although the paper dolls will be different. So here is a piece of a pillow sham edging lace, and it hangs off the edge like that. And inside this, this is a Dolly Dingle paper doll, and I corner punched it. I can't even talk straight. I glued her to cardstock and corner punched it. And then I glued one of a Dolly Dingle outfit, not hers, but it's a Dolly Dingle skating outfit, to a colored postcard and put a fabric tab on it and tucked it in there. Some lace on the edge. I did not coffee dye these papers. I wanted to leave them white, and I didn't leave threads hanging. I wanted it to have a cleaner, fresher look. So this is from a vintage reproduction set of paper dolls, and I used a lot of the dolls and the clothes and the things that came with it. It's either Letty Lane or something like that. They have the same artist, and there were a lot of paper dolls with that set. So they had dolls, several dolls for the children in the paper doll set to play with, and this is a piece of the doll furniture. Up here it says, "Think happy, be happy." This is a pocket made with a curtain that I got at the Salvation Army. I love the colors. And there's some lace and some rickrack trim and some banners that I printed and cut out. This is an advertising doll, I believe. Yeah. So there's the advertisement on the back. And this is the only outfit that she has. So here's one of the outfits from that set of paper dolls. It's a little child holding a doll. And this is a vintage music page from a music book. This is a vintage card. The space reserved for entries by summer school. And it's for summer school. And it was from the 1940s, I believe. When I get my room cleaned up and, you know, get my table cleared off and get the things organized that are left, I will probably be including some more images, more things in some of these pockets. I just have to organize, but I really wanted to get these up tonight, so, and I haven't been home. I had to go somewhere and I haven't been home till just now, so I haven't had time to do all that. So there's fabric on the edge of that. Here is a Dolly Dingle fabric that I had. They were fabric paper dolls, and I used them for some other projects, and I still had a few of the costumes left. So I used, I think, one in each of these journals. So this is Grandma's dress, and there's some of that pretty rickrack stitched on there, and a guest check for journaling. Another of the paper doll outfits, and here's one of the dolls. It was a tall doll with a bride dress, so they're just glued on there for decoration. This was one of the dolls for the family children to play with. This is a digital printout, and this is a freebie from Ephemera's Vintage Garden. And I did some stenciling on a few of the pages. This is a vintage, well, I don't know how vintage it is, but it's a large appointment book. And then this paper doll page came from a Doll World magazine from the 1980s. I still had all these paper dolls that I had saved out of those magazines. And a pocket or envelope that I made. There's nothing in these center envelopes, so you can put whatever you'd like in there. This doll, I just made a pocket here. These are supposed to be the spines of children's books. It was a scrapbook paper. This doll came from the Doll World magazine also. I did not cut all around her because I didn't know if you would want to keep, I started to, see, but I didn't know if you would want to keep some of the background images. I didn't know what you wanted to do with her, so I did cut out her outfits, however. Got a piece of my hair. Okay. So she has some outfits, and I think there's a couple hats that are probably tucked down into the pocket. And she's a Russian princess or something. Russian snow princess. Right, there's a butterfly digital. Here's a pocket that I made by cutting a 9-inch circle with my Cricut. Is that glued in there? I'll put a new ticket in. I used a double-sided paper and cut a 9-inch circle and then folded it, and I demonstrated that on one of my videos. I saw this on Pinterest, and I put an alterations tag there. The one on Pinterest used a 10-inch circle, but I thought a 9-inch would probably be big enough. A Dolly Dingle with one of her costumes, and one of my pink merchandise tags. These are available in my shop. And see some yellow tickets. I'll just put a couple of these in right now before I forget. Yellow tickets tucked in there. In this envelope, up here it says kind words never fade. In this envelope that's paper clipped, or it's a bag actually, it has the rest of this doll's costumes, her outfits. This is one of the Tim Holtz stitched slots dies, and I cut it out with gingham, and then this part I cut out with the craft. And it has another one of the dolls from that paper doll set, and her dress, and a little toy lamb, and a basket of baby supplies, I think. Powder and a baby hairbrush and stuff like that. All tucked in there. Here's a Mary Engelbright paper doll that used to come with her magazine. This is when they started making them a little smaller. They used to be full page. So I just folded it around this music book page. and used a pretty paper clip that I made. I don't really enjoy making paper clips, so I don't do a lot of them. But I had made this a while ago. It has a little lady's figure on it, so I thought that was good for a paper doll book. Fabric flip there. Another of the Mary Engelbreit paper dolls. And this one has a sack glued to it as a pocket, and this doll. And then you tuck her in there and it looks like she's wearing that dress. And then her other outfit and accessories are behind the bag. This is a printable, a digital printable. This is a Mary Engelbreit boy that was supposed to be colored in, but I just cut him out and glued him on there. I don't think that's his outfit because it's facing the wrong way. There's another Dolly Dingle doll, and her outfit was all of this, the table and everything. So I just glued it to her, and it's a tuck spot index card. This is a second signature. There's a doll cradle with a doll in it. Another Mary Engelbreit paper doll. This is Anne Estelle, modeled after Mary Engelbreit herself. And her clothing and her doggie are tucked in there. This one has a piece of fabric stitched around the music sheet and a little ribbon. This is the paper doll fabric that I got from my friend Leslie's shop, and she told me that someone bought all of the rest of it after I bought the piece from her that I did, and somebody went and bought all the rest that she had, so she's out of it. And there's a pink guest check there, but I had enough to make these books. I still have some. There's a paper doll outfit and another one down there. There's a Betty Bonnet and a Letty Lane by the same artist. And I think I was saying that these were Letty Lane, but I think that they're Betty Bonnet. But they're one or the other. There's another of those little cute shabby chic houses. This is from Christie Art Design. There are no S's. It's not Christie Arts and it's not Designs. It's Christie Art Design. I never seem to get it right when I say it. But that's what it is. And I can leave the link below. Paper index card and another digital. I will leave the link for this digital seller too. It has the house, the butterflies, and something else that I used in here. The banners and the dresses. And I can't remember the name of it. And I can't pronounce the name, so I will leave the link below. Here's another page from the Doll World magazine, and it's glued to the appointment book. Another envelope. This is interesting. This is cut from the Doll World magazine, and they used to have interesting little animals that the artists would make into paper dolls. So this is the hedgehog family. They're just made out of magazine paper, so they're not very heavy, but you can glue them to some cardstock and cut them out if you want to make them sturdier. So you have 4 hedgehog dolls in here, and right here is the name of the artist, Betty Wells, and this is from a 1983 magazine. I'll put them back in there. And inside this little folder, which I paper clipped shut, are the outfits for those little dolls, and I paper clipped it. Not only did I paper clip it shut, but I paper clipped it to the bag. So I will make sure I put those dolls back in that bag. There's another of the little cutout dresses. This is a pocket that I made out of quilted fabric and laces and a little piece of a doily. And I made it in the shape of a library pocket and then just put this white tag inside. This says, "Find joy in the little things." Here's a little pocket that I made with my Cricut. It has a couple of little paper doll hats glued to it, and it has 2 cards inside it. Fabric flip there. Just a little envelope, there's nothing in it. And the last signature has another Dolly Dingle with a pocket with a card inside. Kindness Matters. Here we have another pocket with the curtain fabric, and this one has a little mouse named Hollyhock, and her clothing is tucked in the pocket, and her little stand. And then there's a little information about her up here. Hollyhock is carefree and cheerful and giggles a lot. She likes parties and bright things and pretty things like butterflies and crescent moons. She has a twin, and her twin is in the other journal that I'm going to share. There's a paper doll in her clothes. A vintage library card, catalog card with a little paper doll outfit glued to it. This is an advertising doll. I think it's advertising, I'm not sure. And so it's got two outfits, but they're, you know, back to back. And you can glue this together. I think in the one I did for the swap, I glued it all together, but I didn't for this. But you can glue the head in and glue it all together if you want to. We'll flip there. Here's a bassinet for the baby in the paper doll set. And there's one of their dollies. Little house again. Notepad for writing on, or a sheet from a notepad. This is from the Doll World magazine. And an envelope. This is one of my daughter's paper dolls from the 1980s. And this was cut from the paper doll fabric, and I just appliqued it to this eyelet fabric. This is vintage lace up here. Another sack with a little booklet that I made, and this paper doll page came from Pinterest. Alterations tag inside, and another of the little paper doll cards from Christie Art Design. And there's a little tuck spot here, and I glued some daisy trim there. There's a little pocket with nothing in it, but like I said, once I clear my table off, I'll probably find something to put in it. This is a pennant paper clip that someone had sent me, and I glued this little outfit to the front of the pennant. This is a page from Paper Doll magazine, and it had an article about paper doll collections, or from Doll World magazine. Is that what I said? Anyway, these are paper dolls of Princess Elizabeth before she became Queen Elizabeth. And on this side is Shirley Temple. So all of this stuff came from my collection. These paper dolls and the magazine pages all came from my collection. And then in the back is a fashion paper doll with one outfit that I did not cut out. And there's another booklet with some paper in there for writing. And then in the bag is the rest of this fashion doll's outfits. There's quite a few outfits in there. So there we have it. This one is for my customer who requested a paper doll journal. So I will do another video to show the one that will be listed in my shop. I'll be right back with that.